Hello, welcome back to another episode of Street News Network. In today's video by Professor Sam Richards, we will be talking about the aftermath of the shocking assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, which happened at a university speaking event. College campuses across America have been ground zero for a broader debate about free speech, political polarization, and the safety of students voicing strong opinions. This video dives into how students of different backgrounds are responding from grief, outrage, fear to division, and we will see what Sam Richards has to say about it.
This thing could go south, okay? You know what I mean by that, going south, okay? It could really spiral. It's being afraid, like things going south, right? What's that look like to you guys? Or are you afraid? Do you have any fear of that? Like, y'all are young. You know what I mean? Like, you're just starting your lives. Like, I'm at the end. Like, I'm looking around and I'm saying, well, if it goes south, I got my best years in it. So,
I mean, even to touch on back to the point of like, what can we learn from it? I'm afraid that, because I already feel like we're at that point kind of, but like, I'm afraid that people are going to continue to not know how to get things done in this country, or like realize where their anger needs to be directed.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the time, mainly like the government, it kind of seems like they want us to fight with each other more than looking at what they're doing wrong and what they're doing that is causing divide between each other. Because at the end of the day, we are the people, and the people are supposed to be the ones who direct how things go in the country. And if it's come down to where people can't even have respectful dialogue, it just seems like we're headed in a dark place.
Because to the point of what I said about Charlie Kirk being like he was a big influence on the right-wing party. He raised money, but he was not a politician. He did not sign a bill. He did not have any like pen to paper influence on any type of policy.
yeah.
And I feel like people lose the scope on their city council, their school boards, their state legislature that actually put pen to paper on how our day-to-day lives look.
And see, that's the point. That's a good point that he just made right there. Mainly because just infighting within each other is not going to help. What we need to do is learn to come together with each other as a people and then push it out to the legislators, not just pick one party and hope that they're going to do right for us. We need to come up with a plan for what we want and then go out and push the issue, which can be it can be a huge thing, especially with people who have more, influence online. So maybe he should have been trying to push more legislation with his influence and power, but hindsight's always 20/20, right?
Our economy looks, school policy, and that's where our real anger and our real attention needs to go to. And I feel like a lot of these influencers, they take up all this attention, and then people they don't direct their anger and their attention to where it needs to go to actually make change in this country.
Okay, so actually,
Exactly.
so that's interesting, actually, right? All the time people spend on making comments on Reddit or TikTok or Twitter or X or whatever it's called, or Facebook, whatever social media they're on, they could actually go out and visit their local school board sessions or city council sessions or run for something or whatever the case is. There are a lot of things they could do.
I do. I think another fear is
That's true, because a lot of the time we're just complaining, oh, the government's bad, and a lot of us aren't taking up the mantle to actually try and do something, which will be what I want to try and do going forward. I just need to figure out exactly what I want to do and what I want to take up.
maybe someone taking it upon themselves to handle his unfinished business, because I'm sure a lot of people that supported Charlie Kirk feel like, oh, he's gone too soon, he wasn't done, like the things he was pushing, he was making change. Other people may feel the need to echo him or carry on the rhetoric he was pushing, and I don't think that's beneficial at all.
Okay, so wait, so for you, actually, so you're someone who, for the most part, there are many things that Charlie said that you would agree with.
That I would agree with?
For sure.
No.
Well, listen to what I said earlier. He said the guy was talking every single day, just like me. I have thousands hours of video. He has probably 100,000 hours of video. There are things that he said that I will guarantee you was.
That's the thing. A lot of people were just making decisions based off his character from clips. You know, they didn't go and watch his long form video. A lot of people don't have the time or patience to even want to sit down and watch a full debate from him. But yeah, I'm sure there are things that they agreed with him on. It's just as soon as they hear something that they don't agree with them on and they consider it outrageous, now all of a sudden they agree with nothing. And it's just, that's not how dialogue works. That's just cheap.
Say, oh yeah, a lot of things that he said that you'd be like, yeah, that's actually a really good point, and that's a smart point, and that's good, that's bad, you know.
Oh, I'm sure, but with the context and with just everything altogether, Charlie Kirk as a whole, I know I do not agree with. He could say and have, some clear points that are factually true or statistically true or morally true in rare cases, but that doesn't mean I agree with him and everything that he did. I wouldn't even say.
I mean, you shouldn't agree with everything anyone says. You should always question things. You should always go into a conversation wanting to know more, go into a conversation not thinking you're just the right person. Should essentially go into the conversation thinking that they're going to tell you something that proves you wrong, but you got to wait and you have to listen. And that's what the problem is. People didn't want to listen. All they did was demonize him because he had views that they didn't like. And that's what they're teaching college students, to not think critically, because you saw her first words right there. Her first words were just, oh, there's nothing I agree with him with. And then now she switched it to well, maybe some things, but not the overall message. Well, yeah, that's not what he was saying. He was saying that there are things you will agree. You can come to some common ground. They don't have to be immoral because they don't agree with you.
I agree with that.
It's not everything. It's some things, right? And so,
Sure.
And so that's just kind of like me. It's like anyone. And there's nothing that if you decided, hey, I'm going to pick up and do what Charlie Kirk did, or any of us in the classroom, right? And you would think, yeah, I got these really good ideas and I'm going to push them forward. Immediately, you just start saying things that, you think are really thoughtful and smart. And then, half the people are like, oh, this person's a jerk, like whatever. And so I get what you're saying. Like you have your own kind of personal vision of the world and, but you also understand that, right? Okay. All right. That's fair. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
I'm afraid that people laugh about this. Like I've seen it on TikTok now. Like people are laughing that, an influential person in our world that made us question our beliefs, just like you do yourself, it's not funny. No one should die, right? Everyone has a right to live. That's another one of our rights in the United States.
Yeah, I think that was the most troubling part about all of this. It's just the way people came out and laughed about it, just started trashing his character, saying he deserves this just because he believes in gun rights, and they're just taking small little quotes out of context, but they won't just go listen. There's plenty of debates out there that, especially the ones that they were putting on TikTok saying this is why he died, they weren't even listening to what he had to say. That's all they had to do was listen. And if you still disagree, you disagree. But like the kid in the white here just said, what's his name, Jack? We should not be celebrating it. It's not something to celebrate.
So what's your fear of that? People not taking this seriously and.
I think just because the person died, the voice doesn't stop. Someone else is going to fill his position sooner rather than later, and everyone's going to have to live with it. And I fear that it's just going to happen again, and history is going to repeat itself once again.
So you're this college student coming down here from Boston, right? And you're studying at Penn State. You're spending a lot of money here at Penn State to study, right? You want to be challenged. You need people in your life who are going to say things that challenge you.
Yeah.
But that's the problem nowadays. When people challenge someone on their beliefs, all of a sudden they become a bad person, and they have to tear them down with words and with like just insults instead of just trying to combat with their ideas in the marketplace, which is just sad, especially the college students, because they're supposed to be there to learn, to be able to gather these thoughts and make good arguments, because they're the ones going to school and learning more than the average person is every day. And when they get older, they're the ones who we're going to have to look to necessarily change the country. Really, yeah. The young people are the backbone, and they're going to change the country. So most of the time now, if you challenge someone's views, you're a bigot, or you're just something terrible.
That's why I didn't stay at school in Boston.
Yeah. Okay, so listen. So, for example, you're a supporter of the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
So you then,
Well, I think in general as an American, like no matter what the amendment is, what amendment, or what the Constitution is, I think we just got to back the Constitution altogether.
I got you, man. You're a supporter of the Constitution. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I hear that. Yep. And so, but for you, then it becomes this thing where it's really good for you to completely engage people who would like nitpick the Constitution, right? That's important for you, right? That's how you're going to grow intellectually and so on, right? Hey, I have another question. Yeah, go ahead.
One quick point. I just want to the fear thing, right? Another fear of mine, and it goes to what I was saying about the attention, is there was a school shooting yesterday, and it's concerning, and it's a fear of mine that even on the slideshow, there wasn't a picture of the news report from the school shooting yesterday, where I think it was 4 kids who were in critical condition, also due to firearms. And so, like I said, this is just the thing of attention, right? Where the attention of like where we need to really be focusing on how to change our world, and not even just.
What do you guys think about that? Do you think we need to have more gun laws, or you strictly don't touch the Second Amendment, or do we just need to come up with better solutions so that we can stop having so many shootings? What is it? Me personally, I think it's the mental health crisis. A lot of these school shooters do have a mental health issue, and I personally believe it's not the gun, it's the person holding the gun, because they decided to go out there and commit such a heinous act.
But our country, it's just not being put on the correct situations. And like I said, Charlie was a very influential figure, and it's something we should talk about, something that will impact the future and how we approach things. But there are other situations that are going on even more frequently that I feel like we should be having conversations about.
Yep. I have a question for all 4 of you, whoever wants to take it. How often do you think about us spiraling into some kind of civil war? Like, really?
I think it's more of a fear thing. I don't think it will really happen, because hopefully we have systems in place and enough good people around that it wouldn't happen. But there definitely is a fear about it, with the growing political sentiment in the country and how you can't disagree without hate coming into it. So, I mean, it's a possibility, but I really hope it doesn't happen.
Like the violence just grows and grows and grows, and it gets to this kind of, oh my God, we're here, man.
I would say often.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is, this is only one example of an assassination. There's many, and there's been many school shootings. We've normalized school shootings to the point, they happen every week, every month. At the beginning of the school year, down at UMass, or up at UMass, Georgia last year, it happens all the time, and it's just like normalized.
Okay, but
and yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you can say it's normalized, but I just think we need to look for a solution. And I think that it's more security at schools, especially from peace officers or whoever you want to send there that is trained to protect the school. And I think they should be armed. And then I think we need to sit down and really have a conversation about big pharma and the epidemic of giving people pills to mask a problem instead of looking at the real deep issue, because they just say it's a chemical imbalance in the brain and these pills are going to fix you. But then all these pills have all these harmful side effects like suicide, like ideation, as well as, being more prone to violence or to hurt oneself. So, and to do grandiose things. So, I mean, anything with that type of bad side effect isn't really something we should be pushing on younger children. I think just anyone in general. I feel like there are many, many ways that people could get help naturally through their daily activities or and such that doesn't need to have a pill, because I don't think these pills are helping.
Now go to Civil War level.
But yeah, that's what I was going to get to. We've cut a lot of funding for mental health, but
Okay.
Mental health can only make people more crazy. And if someone says tomorrow that we want to have a civil war and they start, bashing sides, or someone goes attacks the White House, like that happened on January 2nd? What day was it? 6th.
January
6th, sorry. I was going to say 7th.
Bro, I want to tell you something. All those a lot of those Second Amendment people, friends that you just
Yeah, I didn't support that event at all.
you just lost half of them.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
That's really too bad. Because that should never happen. That's a government building.
I got you, man. I'm just letting
I
you.
mean, it should never happen. No government building should be under attack. But look at what's happening today. Nowadays, government buildings being attacked by ICE. Government buildings were attacked when Trump was in office. Summer of love. It's just there's so many what's the word I can put to it? There's just so many samples or examples of where we can see that the violence is growing around this country. And the rhetoric from the politicians does not help, because like I said, they just want to keep you and me divided. And that keeps them in power because they use that as fuel to get what they want and not give us what we want.
No,
That could have stopped.
your friends are coming and going.
I think that could really started one.
With past terrorist events, our nation has kind of come together and united against it.
Yeah,
And yesterday there was a division,
yeah,
and people are taking sides.
yeah.
And there's no sense of a common goal. Instead,
Yeah.
it's separated into a few prominent ones.
Yeah. Right. So that's for example, in 9/11, when 9/11 happened, everybody was we were having dialogue.
That's a good example to leave off on what that young lady just said. Usually when something bad around the country happens, we come together, but most of the time that is with an outside force. This is considered an inside force that tried to divide the country. So I could see why we didn't all come together. I just was very, very surprised that people were laughing and cheering, going to memorials and spreading more hate about him. It just wasn't the time. It still isn't the time. Put your idea into the marketplace and let it be heard. But with that, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Street News Network. If you guys could please leave a like, drop a subscribe. Tell me how you feel in the comment section. Do you think that America will come together, or will we get even more divided, even more hateful, and have more violence? But with that, I appreciate you guys like always. Have a good one. Bye.